We've got an update for you now on our top story this morning. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib saying she will not go to the West Bank after Israel lifted a ban on her entry. That reversal based on a request from the Congresswoman to visit her grandmother. Tlaib tweeting this just moments ago. Silencing me and treating me like a criminal is not what she wants for me. It would kill a piece of me. I've decided that visiting my grandmother under these oppressive conditions stands against everything I believe and fighting against racism, oppression, and injustice. Let's bring in Marc Thiessen, Washington Post columnist and Fox News contributor. Marc, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
So now, after all of that, she's not going.
Yeah, no, this works out perfectly for Israel, because what Israel is basically saying is, look, if you want to have a humanitarian visa to come visit your grandmother, you are more than welcome to come to the state of Israel. But if you want a platform to advocate for the destruction of Israel and what she has called a one-state solution, you're not welcome here. I think that's a perfectly legitimate position to take. Look, I think all the outrage about this is just so overwrought. Why is it okay for them to boycott Israel, but it's not okay for Israel to boycott them? They are advocating the BDS movement, the boycott, sanction, and divest movement, advocates the economic destruction of Israel. Why is a country obligated to allow people in who advocate its destruction? On balance, I think they probably should have let them in. I think it was a mistake, because look at all the publicity they're getting. This is what they wanted. They wanted the controversy. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the decision that Israel made to say, you're not welcome in our country if you want to destroy our country.
The tweet I just read was her most recent tweet confirming she will not go. Now that Israel says for humanitarian reasons we'll let you visit your grandmother, she says she won't go. What she tweeted just before that, about 1 hour ago, was this. When I won, it gave the Palestinian people hope that someone will finally speak the truth about the inhumane conditions. I can't allow the state of Israel to take away that light by humiliating me and use my love for my city to bow down to their oppressive and racist policies. So where does that leave this, Marc?
It leaves it that we've got two anti-Semites in Congress who advocate the destruction of Israel. I mean, the critics of Israel's decision are basically saying it's wrong to it's wrong to say they're elected members of Congress, and it's wrong to bar a member of Congress. The problem is not that Israel is barring members of Congress. The problem is that we have two members of Congress who are virulent anti-Semites. And the fact is, there's anti-Semitism on both the left and the right, and both sides are responsible for policing their own movements. Donald Trump needs to consistently reject the alt-right and the anti-Semites and the people who are marching on the streets of Charlottesville saying Jews will not replace us. But the problem is, anti-Semitism on the left is not skinheads on the streets of Charlottesville. It's members of Congress. It's people in the halls of power who have an influence. Omar is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. She's actually involved in setting Israel policy. That's outrageous, and the Democrats can't bring themselves to condemn her for what she said about Israel and Jews.
Ilhan Omar's ban stands this morning, and here she is responding to that in her own words, saying, quote, Trump's Muslim ban is what Israel is implementing. Sadly, this is not a surprise given the public positions of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Now, there are members of the Republican Party who stood up against this ban and said that these congresswomen should be allowed entry, including Marco Rubio. He tweeted this out, quote, I disagree 100% with the congresswoman and the author of the anti-BDS bill we passed in the Senate. And he referenced the fact that he is the author of the anti-BDS bill in the Senate. But denying them entry into Israel is a mistake. But denying being blocked is what they really hope for all along in order to bolster their attacks against the Jewish state. So he made the case that they should be allowed in, Marc.
Yeah, so I agree with Marco Rubio, because he's making the point exactly that this is what they wanted. If you look at the TikTok of what happened, is they introduced a resolution supporting the BDS movement, the boycott of Israel, knowing that there was a law in Israel saying that they could be banned for that, and then announced that they were going to Israel. So I think they were taunting Israel into banning them, because that's what they really want. They want the publicity. But look, it's ridiculous to say this is a Muslim ban. It's an anti-Semite ban. You're not being barred because you're a Muslim from coming. There are many Muslims who live in Israel, and you're being banned because you're an anti-Semite. And all these, I look at all these Democratic presidential candidates who are outraged, shocked that this is happening and criticizing Israel. Where were they when it came time, when Omar made those anti-Semitic remarks saying that basically people who support Israel are bought and paid for? It's all about the Benjamins. And Congress couldn't, the Democrats in Congress couldn't bring themselves to pass a resolution condemning her. Police your movement.
I know that's a lot of what you write in your piece. Here it is, the rise of anti-Semitism on the left in the Washington Post. You wrote this piece that more broadly speaks about the problem of anti-Semitism rising across the world. Here's the words of Steve Scalise, another Republican member of Congress, by attempting to travel to Israel with an organization that includes members who support terrorism against Israel. Reps Omar and Tlaib made it clear the only intention of their visit was to spew hate and advocate for policies that would actively undermine the Jewish state of Israel. This is an incredibly controversial decision, and the reaction continues to pour in this morning. Final thoughts, Mark.
Just simply, Steve Scalise is 100% right. I mean, Rashida Tlaib used to write for Louis Farrakhan's newspaper, has written for Louis Farrakhan's newspaper, is a virulent anti-Semite. She had a picture taken with a terrorist who killed 3 Israeli soldiers. She advocates for a one-state solution, which means the destruction of Israel. So Israel is under no obligation to let her into the country, to use their welcome, their openness as a platform to advocate their own destruction.
All right. Well, this story will continue this morning. We'll be following it. Marc Thiessen, thank you.